Now, recently in the news, the Nigerian government is drafting an executive bill to overhaul revenue administration, including regulating the cryptocurrency industry. Now, according to the chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Services, FIRS, that's Zach Adedeji, he revealed that an executive bill is being prepared for transmission to the National Assembly. Now, this bill seeks to modernize revenue administration, including establishing a legal framework for crypto regulation. He said, and I quote, "We cannot run away from cryptocurrency ecosystem because it's the in thing. But there is no law that regulates cryptocurrency operations in Nigeria." And that's a very important issue right now. As you know, Nigeria is one of the largest peer-to-peer crypto markets globally. According to experts, crypto transactions of the country has totaled over $56.7 billion between July 2022 and June 2023. Now, that's a lot of money, representing a 9% year-over-year growth. Now, the government cannot collect tax from an unregulated entity. I mean, it doesn't work that way. But formal regulation of Nigeria's cryptocurrency sector is definitely going to happen very soon. Hopefully, the crypto regulation will form part of the country's revenue collection and reduce dependence on oil revenues. And Nigeria has also emerged as a hub for cryptocurrency adoption with growing user base and increasing transaction volumes. So this morning, we will discuss the current state of Nigeria's cryptocurrency market, revenue streams and opportunities, regulatory frameworks and challenges, economic implications of this, and that will be job creation, GDP growth, and more. So after the break, we will examine the potentials of our cryptocurrency sector to drive financial inclusion, innovation, and economic growth in Nigeria. Many thanks for watching the program. Now, my guest, we have a guest joining us right here in the studio. He's right here with us, and this is really wonderful. And we have Ayobami Atolagbe. He is the founder, CEO of Demohub, and he's also the quintessential founder of Demohub, an edtech company that promotes globally relevant skills and Bitcoin adoption through education by offering affordable and accessible courses for youth. So particularly the African youth. So welcome to Market Insights, Ayobami.
Thank you very much, Lovina, for having me.
Yes, I'm glad you're in the studio this morning. Okay, so our cryptocurrency market now. So what's the current size of Nigeria's cryptocurrency market?
Oh, as we see it, I believe it has grown past what it was as at last year, about the $56.1 billion market, and about the 9% year-to-year growth. I believe it has added, but definitely there has been some drop down, basically due to some regulations and some, let me put the word, bad eggs in the industry. It has affected the way people view the market and the way people interact with it, all the way to the regulatory side of things, and the government having to have a I won't say the word ban, but having to have kept a limitation to what the crypto market can do and people can make use of the crypto market with. So for now, I would say it is still a green one because the adoption is on. By the way, that is one thing that I'm so key on when it comes to the education and adoption of cryptocurrency, basically Bitcoin, because I believe that Bitcoin has been the mother end for every other cryptocurrency to come in. And the likes of use cases and the utility around Bitcoin has been one that I would say has given the use cases more for both the unbanked and the unbanked, basically. So I would say it has been on the rise. I won't peg a particular number to it yet, right? Because definitely currency is always moving. So I would say it has been on the rising side of things, and I believe it goes in a better heights over time.
Okay, as the founder and also an educator for African youths, teaching them about cryptocurrency, how to trade, how to exchange bitcoins now, how has the adoption grown in recent years?
Based on experience and the trend, I would say it has been on the rise, no doubt. My first experience with the first cryptocurrency ever, which is Bitcoin, was 2015, pardon me. And it was one that I I saw it not as a currency then, I saw it as an investment, which I wish I knew better, right? And that is the mistake that most people get to come through. And because they didn't get the right education and understanding of what cryptocurrency is, generalizing it, but to focus on Bitcoin, is one that they get to. I don't want to mention those get rich quick schemes names, but you get in, but they use it as a means of payment, right? And I believe those are part of the reason of why the government is a little bit like, oh, be careful about your money. You can do it, but be careful. So I would say education is one that has been helping the adoption over time, having to go to the grassroots of how can the man in the village have access to these and also being safe. And definitely somebody on the street, maybe Maitama Street in Abuja, can as well still transact with it, and at least is knowledge. So we're trying to keep that education on so that people can really understand what Bitcoin is, what cryptocurrency is, how can they use it, either as individual, definitely in businesses, or maybe over time as an investment if they want to.
Okay, and it's a digital currency, as you know. Our younger generation, the Gen Zs, they are the ones who are really tech savvy and are really going into full drive with this cryptocurrency
Sure.
usage and also exchanging different digital coins online.
Sure.
Well, if you notice, the older generation is a bit skeptical about it because they don't fully understand. So, being an educator in this industry, have you been able to bridge this gap in terms of introducing or teaching more older people about the benefits of this digital currency?
I would say yes. I would say yes. But I will base it on the likes of the now. Let me use the word of social media first of all. Looking at the likes of people on Facebook, all the way to the likes of Instagram, we have larger percentage of our parents using Facebook. Maybe a little fraction of them get to go on Instagram, right? But over time, how many percentage of them are on TikTok? So I'm trying to just make it very relatable to every person watching right now. Why? Because it's important to know that these are different eras. Like, take me back to 200, 300 years ago. The barter system, I will never understand, right? Because that wasn't my era. But education has found a way to simplify it. And I learned this from one of my Kenyan sister when she was here in Nigeria. I said, we're having a conversation. I said, we use robust words. We use big vocabulary in the industry, and we tried like, oh, when the blockchain and this thing and it. No, can we find a simple terminologies that you can interact these things with, not even the older generation, with everybody? Simplify it. And ever since about a year plus right now, I said, okay, I will do my best. And that is why you see me pause every time I try to say something. Why? What is the use of me using a big grammar, which is good, right? It shows, oh, this person knows what he's saying. But what is the use of me saying it and the person I'm saying it doesn't understand? So we find a way to simplify those terminologies, how you can apply it in your businesses, in your daily life. You have a child going to school abroad, how you can even just send them funds and they get it as fast as possible with a better percentage. They don't get to cut percentage out of whatever they want to use that funds for. So I'll say it has been a good one regarding that, based on education and giving them the right information for them to progress in that.
Okay, that's wonderful to hear. Okay, we're still going to talk about that transferring funds online with the use of the Bitcoin now. But first of all, let's talk about the benefits of cryptocurrency adoption in Nigeria. Now, what are the benefits, first of all, before we talk about the challenges? So let's start. What are the benefits of the cryptocurrency adoption in Nigeria?
Oh, a lot, a lot, a lot. But before I go in there, I want to talk about what are the infrastructures on ground to make it possible, right? We could have a lot of benefit based on what the white paper says, being a P2P, peer-to-peer network, right? To avoid all those intermediaries and the likes. But so having to set that foundation of what are the infrastructures to enable every single person benefit from it is very key. But let's look into it directly. I would say one. I won't mention names because, but imagine me having to say, okay, let me see the Nigerian Nigerian, right? And I'm trying to transact in millions, right? or let me just say I'm privileged enough to send my child to university abroad, and I need to send him a certain amount of millions, right? If I should use the regular, which I don't think is bad, but we just have to find a way to make it visible. There is no way, if I see an opportunity to somebody charge me 0.1% of whatever I'm sending, to somebody charging me 5% of whatever I'm sending, who will I do the business with? The person that's charging me less, right? So remittance is one. I would say that it has been one, and also means of payment easily, right? Reduction of what I need to spend or what I need to give out as a person, right? Every single person in their point of view is focused on profitability, right? So everybody will do what favors them, at least to the best of their ability. One, so definitely means of exchange. Another one is store of value. While I was coming, I was trying to say, okay, let me even do some calculations in that regarding benefits. As we're focusing on Nigeria, right? Now, let me say it came in mainstream 2013, but 2015, not Bitcoin or cryptocurrency right now, but in mainstream usage or people having to now learn about it. Let me say 2015. And let's assume Nigeria, as at that time, I think it's about 82.2 billion reserve, right?
Yes. For
Let's say Nigeria was able to, I was even calculating based on 10%. Let's even look at 1%. That would have been 820 something million naira. And as at that time, Bitcoin was $300, 310, at least average 300. That would have given Nigeria to be able to at least tap into some great percentage of that. Multiply that over time to 2024, which Bitcoin right now is about $59,000. We'll be looking at, from we putting in about 800 and something thousand million, we'll be looking at at least 19, let me say 19,000x, at least being what, about 55 billion right now. So see that at least store of value, remittance purpose, and most importantly is the aspect whereby it helps the people. Looking at what the likes of the company I worked with earlier, the likes of Paxful, working with the NGO side of things, built with Bitcoin, they were able to build a school in Ankaranandu, Kaduna State, which gives education to people. So easy funding, right, that makes things possible, which are very profitable to the government if they allow it.
Okay, yes, I understand what you're saying, but this digital coin, it's only when you're transacting with dollars that you can actually use it. But with our naira right now, there is no real value for. Okay, for example, now if you say you have 1,500 naira, you can get $1 depending on where you exchange the foreign currency. But it's not like that with the Bitcoin. It has to be transacted in dollars only because that's the only currency that gives it value for whatever digital coin you're using right now. But Nigeria doesn't have that. That's part of the regulations that we are also
Okay.
talking about. So yes, because the industry has not been fully regulated, it's not fully understood by our own Securities and Exchange Commission. So now looking at that, that is also one of the challenges that the cryptocurrency industry in Nigeria is facing right now. But
Sure.
apart from that, yes, like you mentioned, the digital side, but people have been affected by fraudulent activities with cryptocurrency, exchanging this Bitcoin online. People have been defrauded of their hard-earned currency. So now that's also, and other challenges, that how do we overcome these challenges to make the cryptocurrency industry more trustworthy for everybody to understand?
All right, thank you for bringing that up. I would say one, the network in itself, when it comes to Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in itself, is a cryptography that makes it transparent enough. Yes, the anonymity side of things comes in, right? Having to, like, okay, we only know this wallet address, but we don't know the person behind it, and that is why most exchanges, we still call them centralized exchanges, right? CX, pardon me. So
Is the SEC, Security and Exchange Commission?
no, that's the regulatory side of things. I'm talking about the exchange side of things right now, the central exchange, right, being centralized. But the purpose of Bitcoin in itself is for decentralization, where you can carry out transaction without limitation. But one beautiful thing is that you can still be transparent as long as you make available your wallet address. I can see every transaction you've ever done, ever, right?
Yes.
But in the aspect of looking at, for those platforms which are centralized platform, right, exchanges or wallet providers, it is one thing that we still look out for, which is what most of them, they do the KYC, know your customer, right? Now, it is now in the place of Nigeria government enforcing it. Now, there's been a multiple debate around, oh, do you guys want us to regulate this or not? Most industry experts, as I am, I've already said, yes, it's fine. But the aspect is saying one thing today and saying another thing tomorrow without having a fixed point of where do we stand. That is what people are scared of. Or tomorrow, because of a lot of things, you guys change everything and you bundle us because we make available our database or our data in your database, so you just come for us. No. But are we safe enough to say, yes, regulate it, take whatever charge you want to take everything, but are we safe enough to say that if it doesn't favor you anymore, do we now get to suffer everything? So that is what people are being scared about. So when it comes to the aspect of security aspect of it, most organizations, which I normally educate people, your fund is as safe as you make it as. You open your account, kindly set a good password, do your two-factor authentication, and then allow the company, at least from your own end, everything's already done, right? So that is it on that aspect when it comes to being security conscious and avoiding the likes of money laundering and the likes of things. And I don't want to double down on some things, but before Bitcoin, before cryptocurrencies, there has been money laundering.
Yes.
Right? So the question is, what are the things, and which they are doing their best regarding SEC and the likes of the EFCC, they are doing their best, right? But don't just create the bill like you said earlier. Don't just create the bill. Don't just put a legal thing. Apart from what we have on the paper to justify when people break the rule, what are the infrastructure that have been put in place to make sure that those things are not even done in the first place or being mitigated to the highest order? So those are the things I'm going to say we need to look into as well. The foundation.
Okay, yes, yes, that's those are very, very key things to look at in addition to the infrastructure on ground. Okay, now, how can this cryptocurrency exchanges generate revenue for our economy now?
I will always go back there. What are the things that have been put in place to make sure that when this guy is coming to Nigeria, yes, we have a 54 page by SEC, right? That's the Security Exchange of Nigeria, like Security Exchange and likes. So what has been put in place to when a company comes in, makes it easy and beyond all. I'm a promoter of built by Africans for Africans, or built by Africans for Africa. Why? What is stopping gaining the right education and expertise to making sure that Nigeria themselves create these exchanges? Right now, as at, was it 2 years ago? I believe the to get the licensing went from 30 million to 150 million. Now, I'm out of university, right? I'm able to get about maybe 500 million grants, and you're telling me to get a licensing for a license of 150 million in what I want to do. Now you're already taking more than, let me say, more than 30% or 40% of my operational fuel funds available to me to do anything. So we should find a way to, as much as we want to regulate, as much as we want to keep standard, we should look at what is possible on the long run for Nigerians. Yes, those guys will come in, they are the big guys, right? They have the money to come in. So are we going to be basing it on this is the amount for the people coming into Nigeria and this is the amount for people in Nigeria, right? So we shouldn't just be consumers. That is what is affecting us right now. People just come all the way and they kind of set up a system and the money leaves, right? Why not find a way to empower us both infrastructural wise, human capacity wise, and the likes, so that people get to it stays in. We use what we build and everything is effective. So I would say it's very important to still go back there, the foundation, to make sure that it's right so that we can build upon it.
Okay. Now looking at other digital coins like the KU coin, from July they announced to their members that they're going to begin to. Sorry about that. Yes.
Thank you.
They're going to begin to tax their members a 7.5% VAT on all transactions within the country. So that's another way for all these digital coins to make money from Nigerian users now. So the purpose of this, like I mentioned at the beginning, there's the FIRS chairman has said that there's $56.7 billion. That's a whole lot of money that can benefit our country now. So if another digital coin sees the potential with the Nigerian cryptocurrency market and they have not yet, and they are tapping into it, then why can't we as a country also tap into this revenue? It can also help us to boost our economy greatly. And apart from that, we have this dependence on oil. So if we can perhaps maybe shift some of this attention to the cryptocurrency industry, I don't think we'll be so dependent on the oil sector. So your thoughts on this?
Yeah, like I was looking at how many sectors we have, at least breaking it down. I was looking at about 19 sectors, right? Is okay, like KuCoin, like you said, allowing that. It's okay, it's fine. Like I said earlier, when we had that conversation, there was a meeting. I think FinTech NGR set it up as well about 2 years ago. And that was about the time they're kind of saying that the VAPs, that is the virtual asset side of things, providers, people, part of what they wrapped up the conversation on was fine. You want us to pay tax, fine, we're going to pay tax. But today you see cryptocurrency is banned. Tomorrow you say it's lifted. Tomorrow you say we are we are reducing the stress on it and the likes of things. And next tomorrow we'll go to the bank and I said, okay, banks should not transact. So the thing is, the SEC, the Beacon, those are like bodies that are set up to regulate things, right? Can we have a unified voice to say this is what the government is saying, this is what they are going to stand on, this is the percent that is going to be, and don't say because possibly you're seeing a growth in the profit being made in the market, you now start increasing the taxes, right? And when I was looking at the flow. Okay, right. I work in Nigeria, I make the money in Nigeria. Definitely that's already taxed, right? I go into the market to say, okay, let me see if I can make some profit from it. What happens if I'm at loss? Right? What happens if I lose all the money? Fine. That's what businesses do, right? They open business in Nigeria, CAC help them. It's not promised that you're going to profitable. Possibly, if you don't set it right in 5 years or even less than that, 3 years, you are gone out of business, right? So it still goes back to you want to collect tax. It's very important. How educated, don't stay on the surface, how educated are you that you could even just set up a system in the blockchain side of things? Because that is the, let me use the word network, that cryptocurrency ride on, making sure that every transaction is readable, is there, is on the block for people to see. How easy is it that you can set up a body? Don't just have meetings upon meetings, bills upon bills, policies upon policies. Can we set it up whereby every company that comes in gets to plug in before they transact with the bank? And all those things can easily be taken from there. So the question is it every trade I make, or is it every loss I make, or is it every profit I make, or is it when I want to withdraw out of the exchanges? So that we don't assume things. All those things must be detailed out, right? So I believe with that. And another aspect is about, yes, it's okay because I'm in the industry, we know that there's a 54 pages by the sector for people, right? But the question is, how aware are the people that are they, can you simplify it or tell us or give a announcement publicly that these are the things that has been done so that people will be aware as well? It is the fear from them. So that is what people, it definitely it will exist because that is what currency is about, the fear of sanctity and doubt, the FUD. But can we come together as both the practitioner and you, the government, and let people understand how it works? And by the way, so that I won't say I'm really negating what I'm saying, they are trying, like the likes of Conversity, the Beacon, the CBAN, having meetings with the likes of Central Bank and educating them. And it has been great so far, but I believe we can do more to make things better.
Okay, thank you for that,
You're
Ayobami.
welcome.
Okay, now looking at just before we take a break now, how can Nigeria develop now? How would you advise our federal government to develop a regulatory framework that balances innovation and consumer protection in the cryptocurrency industry?
All right. Okay, this is it. What is the art of Nigeria when it comes to growth? the GDP, right? How we make profits, how we export and the likes. Now, that's why I said what I said earlier, that I looked into sectors in Nigeria and I can see the likes of the finance is just one out of maybe 17 or 21, which I saw, right? And as much as we want to focus on cryptocurrency, it's better you look at the underlying structure that makes it possible, which is the blockchain, and enable that as a structure that every businesses can ride on. I would say I'm going to ask things, but I think I'm going to ask earlier right now, or maybe put as a suggestion. What is Nigeria putting in place in year 2124 in the next 100 years?
That's a very long time.
I won't. Okay, let me look. I won't be here by then. I don't pray to be here by then. But it's beyond just every 4-4-10, right? It shouldn't be like one person comes in today, in 4 years is done with his own plans. Another person come and do their own 4 plans, and they are not building upon the plans that has been existing before. So can we adopt it fully? It starts with education. You can't just say someone is an expert, or you bring an expert and the whole crowd that is looking up to the person, you are dumb, or they are dollar. They don't know what you're talking about. So can you educate them first to understand how to even set it up? How does it work? How can it be relevant in the likes of healthcare, in the likes of agri-tech, in the likes of even the education, and which Demohub is focused on, right? How can it be relevant in the finance in itself, airline and the different sectors, right? Can we make sure that when those infrastructure are put in place, then what makes it on a autopilot is the finance? Yes, we know the money controls things, but the things that the money is supposed to be used on as utility are not even there. So imagine all the airline industry, right? They are already on the blockchain, which enables that. All the agriculture, all the petroleum and everything are there ready on with blockchain technology. Won't it be easy that when the money flows in, they can see how much is being earned by that parastatals? You see, so it makes it very easy when they want to say we want to tax easily. All the blockchain transactions that happen with this industry, let it be taxed because it's already there. Just go there. You made so amount in so months. Everything is there. So I will always go back there. Let's put the right things in the right place first. Every other thing will be easy to really check out and see because it can't be falsified.
Okay, and once the right infrastructure is in place, you believe that the consumers or the people who are buying and exchanging Bitcoins will be fully protected from scammers and fraudulent people?
Sure. Like I said, a platform is that, first of all, let me use this word. The blockchain technology makes it a one that can be falsified, right? Now, cryptocurrency is meant for peer-to-peer, right, transaction, but as long as it is on the chain, it can always be tracked, right? Then when it makes things very much easy. Why? Okay, I don't want to go there, but I'm going to touch on it. In our crude oil sector, the oil sector, okay, you say that if some barrel were manufactured, you already know how much per barrel, and by the end of the day, it's not balancing, right? Because it can be falsified.
Yes.
Right? But when you know that to every production is on the chain, to every sales is on the chain, to every remittance that you get from is on the chain. So you get to tell me what happens, or we're supposed to produce how many barrels for this particular interval, maybe per week or per day. So what happens? You produce so amount, the amount you're telling me that you're seeing right now. Now I know all this I'm saying is not going to happen in the next 3 months or in the next 1 year, possibly the next 3 years. But can we start from somewhere at least? That's why I asked that question. What happens in the next 100 years? We should think in that aspect, so that one, we can start building upon that, so that things maybe let's put that one, maybe it's gonna work out, right? God bless Nigeria for that, but I just hope it can really work.
Okay, thank you for that, Ayobami. But let's take a break now. When we return, we're going to talk about the future of our cryptocurrency industry and what can happen in the next few years, not the next 100 years. So join us after the break.
In today's fast-paced world, staying ahead of market trends is crucial. Whether you're an investor, a business owner, or just curious about the economy, you need reliable, up-to-date information to make informed decisions. On Market Insights, we provide comprehensive market analysis, expert opinions, and actionable insights that you can trust. Our team of seasoned analysts and industry experts enrich the conversation, bringing you the latest updates and in-depth reports. With our real-time data, you'll never miss a bit. Get instant access to market rulings, trends, and forecasts. Our expert analysis helps you understand the bigger picture, while our customized reports are tailored to meet your unique needs.
Peri-urban agriculture plays a very, very important role in diversifying urban diets and also providing staple foods for daily consumption.
Additionally, fluctuations in the exchange rates and disruptions in the global supply chain have further inflated costs.
Join us on Market Insights, Monday through Fridays, 11 a.m. to 12 noon here on Soup News Television. We are your premier destination for cutting-edge market insights.
Thank you for watching the program. I am still discussing with our guest in the studio, Ayobami Atolagbe, the founder of and the CEO of Demohub. He's discussing with me Nigeria's cryptocurrency markets and the revenue and economic implications of this. So far, yes, we've talked about the challenges, we've talked about the benefits of this, and you have really emphasized on the infrastructure, how we need to put a solid infrastructure in place.
Sure.
Now, looking at our cryptocurrency sector, it's the challenges of fraud has been going on for a very long time. Like you mentioned, since 2015, people have been scammed of their money with the cryptocurrency platform. Now, what are the social and economic implications of this of the volatility of the cryptocurrency prices? As you know, when we look at the cryptocurrency markets, then we look at the exchange in other countries of the world, we see some days it's gaining, some days people are losing money, and it's not, yes, like
Yeah,
every
it's
stock,
volatile.
yes, it's one day it's up, the other day it's down. So now how do we prepare people for this future? Because this is part of the future of using this digital currency.
All right, I would say be a student of the market. Okay, God bless Nigeria, as the United States used to say. But looking at it, as Nigeria currency been so far,
Okay, we're going to talk.
right? Now, maybe not part of, not part of, maybe cryptocurrency affected, allegedly or not. But before we even start knowing cryptocurrency, or before it came to limelight, at least there was a time that a naira was way more valuable than dollar, right?
That's a long time ago.
Long time ago, but it all starts from there, right? What happened then? Can we track it back? I would say we mostly look into just the problem, but we don't look at what actually caused the problem, right? We only see the when people are sick. Oh, how can we solve the sickness? But what caused the sickness, right? Now, when you asked the question, I responded to be a student, right? It's education. Most people want fast money.
Yes.
They don't want to build or they don't want to have the car or the tool that gives the money. You see people, oh, get in right now when it was $3,000. Oh, get in when it was $7,000. Oh, get in when it was $21,000. It went to about 69,000 at a point, right? Oh, it's going. That is the time you want to put in all the money and you sell your car and when it done back to about 30,000, you say that, oh, this thing is a lie. No, what happened when we've been telling you, educate yourself, know about these things? Because a market will never go graphs like this. No, it will always correct itself. It's a simple fact of economics. Buying and selling. Let me make this very fun for all the people watching this. Now, if when they were saying to my sister out there watching this, when they were selling that Brazilian hair at a certain amount and it was going up and they keep increasing the amount, it got to a point you say, man, I can't buy this, or we can't buy this at this price again, right? They wasn't, no, we cannot sell it. It got to a point that the price will go down, right? It's as simple as that. Okay, let me talk back to the grassroots. How much do they even sell it right now? Maybe about 3,500. There was a time that a pint of Gary was how much? 4,000 plus, right?
Yeah,
But
right now it's over 4,000.
oh,
But
it's over, right?
it's over 4,000.
Good. But it is not static. But let me go back to my mom. In the simple principle of economics, right? Buy low, sell high. Buy jerrycans of palm oil when it is cheaper. When it is scarce in the market, you do what? You sell at higher price. And definitely, by the time the season is off again, the price comes down, you buy cheaper again, you sell high. That is the principle of the market. It's as simple as that, right? So it's very important to just let them understand the market will always keep moving. But the question is, do you understand the market to understand that this is the buy zone and this is the sell zone? Because we have something we call the overbuy, overbought and oversold area in the chart. That is in regarding technical analysis right now, whereby people when they oversold, that means that they've sold, the price will be cheaper then, right? Then you can buy from that point. But when it is overbought, that means that people keep buying and it's already kind of, oh, this is the peak. Don't fall for FOMO, that is fear of missing out. That is, people are already in it, I want to really get this right now. No, understand the market. So you understanding the market will know, this is the right time I need to buy. And you're not going to be greedy to say, it's going to. No, okay. There's no way you can just keep making profit all the way. I learned something about some few weeks back. And they said, the market is not there for you to make 100% profit or 100% good trades. There will always be bad days, right? This is me already tilting into the side of trade, which most people are on. But the utility of cryptocurrency or blockchain can be used in other things. But let's focus on what people. So having to understand that there is no way you can be 100%. Nobody's 100%, right? But can you find a way to be profitable? Whether by the end of the day you're about 65 to 70%, 75% profitable in the market, then that is it. So don't just say you want. And I learned something which I think I should advise people. Don't say that you have 100% of all your assets in cryptocurrency. What happens on the day that you are hungry? Possibly the market is down that day, and if you sell that time, you're already running loss, right? So can you divide your funds that you have, possibly 100% of your funds on you? Maybe you put in about maybe 30%. Then you, the remaining 60%, you still have some on the bank and some in investments, right? So let's go back to tradition. Let's go back to the ages, the wisdom of the ages, right? They say don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? So be careful. Nothing is promised, right? I don't want to mention banks, but recently some banks are merging up and telling us to come and invest.
It's not
I
recent.
was seeing some advertisement of saying that don't take a pie of the when you can have the whole full basket. So it is for everything. So I don't want to talk much around that, but that is what happens in markets. So can we just be real to ourselves? Nothing goes all the way up, but learn to get in and learn to get out.
Okay, that's very good advice. Learn when to get in and learn when to get out. Very true. So can we I believe yes, more education is needed for people to understand how the cryptocurrency market works and in terms of when to buy and also when to sell.
Sure.
Now, how has the cryptocurrency market affected financial inclusion in Nigeria?
Greatly. But let me start from what I've experienced as beneficiary, been beneficiary to Nigerians is the aspect of, I said it earlier, but I'm going to repeat it, is the profitability of every single person that is using it. Now, I was able to speak to some undergraduates in University of Ilorin some weeks back, and I was telling them about, and these are not all the people that graduated, at least first class would be about maybe 10% or 20% of every person that graduated, right? And they said that they're having about 5,500 and something first class that is not having a job. When you put a preference to first class and second class to get the job, we still have about maybe like 40-50% that second class lower or third class. Now, all of them will not go into cryptocurrency, but a higher percentage of a street person right now wants to trade and make money. Now, overall, that is already aiding what? Means of income. They already have a source of income. Now, that is on the good side. Income is coming. What happened? They're able to afford something and buy something, right? Overly is helping the economy. right? I don't want to go there, but when the Twitter was shut down, they knew how many millions that went out of the government or that they lost for that 2 3 days, right? It's the same thing. Do they know how many millions people have lost because they couldn't trade, and because all those trade and the profit made, they use it to buy something in Nigeria, which helps the economy to keep going? So the question is, do you just implement things, or you have a deep thought of what it will affect during that period that you implement it? So one, I would say definitely profitability and also source of income for Nigerians. Two, I talked about the remittance side of things, whereby I could literally be working from anywhere and send funds back home. Talking about the day-to-day, people are transacting with themselves easily. Nobody wants to run at loss, right? But the fact is, can the government be in place whereby they come in and they give us the best of percentage that enables businesses to run easily? On a long run, or let me talk about this, which is what Demohub is actually focusing on. Let me just talk about that. That's BPAP. That's the Bitcoin business acceleration program. This is it. When we have more businesses that run their businesses on Bitcoin, they get to sell internationally, right? And them sell internationally and funds coming in easily, and they get good profits, keeps the business running in Nigeria, which is making more money in Nigeria. Imagine we have an increase of about maybe 20% increase in businesses that are sustainable every year, and they're running on Bitcoin, that they can transact with Bitcoin, and they're bringing an inflow. It keeps the business alive. Not that they come in and they shut down, and the revenue that the FRS is supposed to generate is no longer there. So can we enable that profitability, that is benefit that Bitcoin gives to the industry, to the individual, and definitely to the government? Because if the citizens are profitable, they spend the money in the state. The state is beneficial. They spend it as a country. So as a country overall, it is a win-win. But I would say they don't see the overall benefit of how it helps the government and how they can come in. But they can't do that unless we go back to what I started on, the right infrastructure that enables the country as a whole, like the likes of El Salvador, to benefit as a country. So it's important. So there are a lot of benefits, but I'll stay on those ones.
Okay. Now, before we round up the program, now let's look at the future of this digital currency in our economy. Yes, we've talked about the benefits, but for looking at a long-term growth now, what key factors do you think will determine the future success or failure of the cryptocurrency markets in Nigeria?
I would say it has already been accepted, but until we come to the point of full acceptance, let me break that down, because I have to give it a thought myself. Yes, they know it exists, they know it's useful, they know it can be applicable to what we do, but until it's fully accepted, that there's no bias of, oh, today we accept, today we ban, next tomorrow we keep it on a little side of things. Full acceptance. Okay, we accept these things, we are going to use it, implement it. We have a body that understands it fully, not partly, not 10% of knowledge, but fully. Developers that are building utilities that this thing can be used on. That, and we have a lot of it right now. But when you don't give people the leverage or the benefits or the freedom to come, like, oh, we have this tool, it can be used, right? Allegedly, there are people out there that, like, they literally they're miners. And I'm not literally saying going to the farm to go mine, because I have to say that as well. Those are some terminologies that when you say, so you mean that I have to go to the rock and break rock and mine? No, these are digitally done, right? Cryptographically done. There are miners in Nigeria, but they don't come out, you don't see them. But the likes of that right now, to go back to infrastructure. Now, you want me to be a miner as in Nigeria, but there's not 24 hours light. Now, we're saying that there is band A, band B, band C. And let me say I'm on band A, and I'm not making a profit of the power I'm buying. Let me make us smile a little bit. Like I said, you can't give what you don't have, but Nigeria as a country, or a father is giving out excess food to other families when he himself, their children are suffering. So it doesn't make sense. So can you make sure that you have enough for your own children before you give out, so that they can easily do what they need to do, so that things can move properly?
Okay. That's very important. Okay, now still on the future growth of this cryptocurrency. Now, how can Nigeria position itself as a global leader in the cryptocurrency space? This is for the future. Now, what would you advise?
They should get on board fully. It just gets me repeating the same thing. They should enable a system that allows businesses to adopt such. Right? I mentioned it earlier, and we already, at least we concur on those thoughts regarding the art of every, okay, let me say organization, because as a country is an organized nation, right? The art of every nation is the aspect of the profits, the resources that people can make together to benefit it. So, example, we have less businesses, and I have my thought flying to how many international organizations have left Nigeria in the last 2 years. I don't have the data handy, right? But they are in tens, like if not in hundreds. So imagine how much Nigeria has lost in that aspect. So can you enable businesses thrive, first of all? Can you stop focusing on one sector like the oil? Can you look into other aspects and enable blockchain technology in those aspects so that they can easily, everything is going tech-wise right now, whether we like it or not. So can you enable the easy flow of such, both in the accessibility of data, the accessibility of light, as little as that is? People are willing to pay as long as it's going to be available. You don't expect me just to pay for something I don't use, right? So can we make sure that those infrastructures are set in place? Then when that is in place, the likes of us, Demohub, which is educating businesses on how they can use this technology to make themselves globally relevant in business, they can transact. Someone in Nairobi can buy from Nigeria, and you get the profit. Somebody, you can buy your Adire in Nigeria, and you ship out, and they pay you easily. And by the time when all those systems have been set in place, they don't have to even say they are paying the tax or manually. It's automatically taken from them when it is being set right. So they should look in those aspects and make things easy for everybody. I'm going to say this. We don't have to queue on the line for everything. We are now in a digital world. Can we enable that to happen?
Certainly. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time
you
with
very
us
much.
this morning. Ayobami Atolagbe, the founder and the CEO of Demohub. Thank you for joining us on
Thank you
Market
so
Insight
much.
this morning. It's been great talking with you about the cryptocurrency markets, how we can generate revenue from it, and the economic implications of this. Many thanks for coming on the program
Thank you
this
so
morning.
much.
And I do hope you can come again to our studios.
I look forward to that.
Okay, now let's look at the foreign exchange markets this morning, how the Naira is faring when compared to the dollars, pound sterling, and the euro. So we'll look at the Central Bank of Nigeria rates and the parallel markets rates. So for today, Wednesday, 21st August, the dollar is currently selling at 1,515 Naira. That's the CBN rate to $1, and at the parallel market is 1,579 Naira to $1, and for the pound sterling is 2,004 Naira to £1 sterling. That's for the CBN rate. At the parallel market rate is 2,046 Naira to £1 sterling. For the euro, it's 1,716 Naira to €1 at the CBN rates, and the parallel market rate is 1,755 Naira to €1. So those are our money market figures this morning. And as usual, the parallel market rates are higher than the CBN rates. Many thanks for watching the program Market Insights this morning. As my guest and I discussed Nigeria's cryptocurrency markets, how we can generate revenue from it, and the economic implications for this. And as he emphasized the importance of improving on our infrastructure, and that will boost growth for our economy. Thank you so much for watching the program. I am your host, Lavina Emma.